These are the front porch posts. We do not have stands underneath them. The stands are necessary to keep water from wicking up off the concrete into the posts and rotting them. Now the columns extend out a little bit. That's an aesthetic issue, however my client wants to think or feel about it. This is a mechanical issue. We do not have stands. We got some exposed tendon ends and some exposed aggregate here on the foundation. And that needs to be smoothed out. Those need to be cut off so they don't cause you to get stitches or a tetanus shot and/or. This needs to be smoothed out so that the aggregate doesn't start separating and falling out. I'm assuming that there's going to be a doorbell out here. Although, this tape has not been rolled. Now, all home inspectors are required to render opinions about the foundation. And just because some of us use engineering equipment, that does not make us engineers. I'm a firm believer that a home inspector should stay in his lane. If I could just be a good home inspector, that would be enough. Okay, that's what I'm charging for. It's my pay grade. All right? I do not calculate slope. I do not measure for tolerances. I use a blue-collar schmuck, throw-down guideline. No more than 1 inch of floor height elevation differential within 30 feet and no more than 2 inches overall. And no, I haven't measured every part of this home, but I'm not getting as much as an inch anywhere. And I can't measure underneath the drywall. So, foundation's performing the function for which it's intended. It's supporting the superstructure. It's not causing peril to the inhabitants. When we build a home like this, around the exterior perimeter, we sink anchor bolts. It's what keeps the house down. Okay? This is an anchor bolt right here. Come on. That's an anchor bolt right there. The anchor bolts are supposed to be installed within the middle third. And about 10 of these anchor bolts, let me check my measurements here. Yeah, about 10 of them are in the outside third of the mud sill plates. There's one right there. And could I see the anchor bolts over here behind all that garbage? No, I couldn't. Okay, this is draft stopping tape. Supposed to be there. Moving on along. Obviously the foundation's a little lower here, but not as much as an inch. And we've got our pans are all being tested, so I hope they pass. That's the main water shutoff valve. I think I mentioned that in another video. Coming on along. My paint is pink. It kind of blends in with the red paint sometimes. So that's both of us. You'll see that that's red and then that's pink. But that's an outside third. It's an anchor bolt in the outside third. These windowsills are level. There's supposed to be some pitch going to the exterior and not the exterior brick ledge. I'm not talking about that. Somebody else was talking about that. I wasn't talking about that. Coming on along. We can see daylight. They've got tape on that. Tape on that. Now, this is a load-bearing wall. we've got more than 50%. And they put these straps on here. Now, I'm not really familiar with those straps. I'm used to seeing the shoes that go around it. So I got to do some homework, because that might be perfectly acceptable. I don't know. They obviously knew that they had an issue, and they obviously addressed it. We got another place over here. I'll find it someplace. That's just a little less than 50%. I found it in here somewhere. I did. When we run across it, I'll bring it back home. I'll bring it back around. Coming on along. We're in the primary bedroom. Outside third. Outside third. Anchor bolt. 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 Outside third. Nailing plate. We got some openings, okay? Anytime you have a connector or a nailing plate, every open hole should be filled with a proper fastener. And, some places where there's no meat, there's no wood, then, you don't have a connector. I get it. So you won't have a fastener there. But any of these, two nails, in fact, 2 screws, they're supposed to be nails. 2 screws is not the right kind of fastening there. And then when the foundation was nice and wet, somebody came in here with their big old boots. Just kind of, I could measure there, but that doesn't speak to the whole foundation. This needs to be chipped out and poly fixed. And we've got some interesting nailing plates over here. Now, this is a pony wall, so it's not really structural, but the nailing plates are to protect the plumbing or electrical from drywall. Okay, so these crooked nailing plates, and I don't know what's going to go here, how far it's going to come out, whether it's going to be invisible, but no, all of our holes have not been filled. It's not level. And we're coming on along. Now, see how this little inset has been sealed with nails? We come over here. This one was drywall screws. No, it's not supposed to be drywall screws. It's supposed to be nails. They could do it right some places, but they don't want to do it right all the places. Okay. I get that. We're going to have a high volume vent fan. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, but we got an outlet box over the vent. That's probably for the vent fan. I was thinking for a fresh air induction. Okay. If your vent fan is going to be moving more than 400 CFM, cubic feet per minute, if you're going to be moving that much CFM, then we're going to need some makeup vents. I don't see any makeup vents. Where was that pipe? I know. It was on this wall. I know that. Okay. Here we go. I don't know what to call this room exactly, so I'm calling it the wet pantry, because it looks like a pantry, but it also looks like we're going to have a vent fan, and it also looks like we're going to have 240. At first I thought it might have been a laundry. Here's our sink. But here, right here, and this is, okay, here's our engineered beams coming over here. So this is, okay, this is a load-bearing wall. That's definitely over 50%. We should have one of those, what I call a shoe over there. Some people call them boots. But they didn't put those straps on there either. So this needs a little bit of help. Now we're going to look up here. Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to look up here and... No, we're going the other way. There we go. See our connectors? They've been fastened with screws. Our connector plates have been fastened with screws. They're supposed to be fastened with nails. And then come over here. See this vent pipe? It's level. It's supposed to have a 3-degree pitch in the direction of flow. So this elbow should have been tilted up a little bit, and that should have been an inch or so higher. That should have been an inch or so higher. I'm looking. That's a level vent, sewer vent pipe. It won't vent like it's supposed to. One of the 10 that I saw, and not the only 10, but on the outside third, the anchor bolt. Quite a ceiling up there, huh? Doing a pretty good job. This guy's reaching for it. So we're coming on in here. Air duct. Air duct is not supposed to be in direct contact with other air duct. That can cause condensation. It's going to leak down onto your ceiling. This is a storyboard, but it's in Spanish. I don't really know what's going on. But there's a storyboard there. Electric cables are not supposed to be in direct contact with your air duct like that. Now, sometimes when you're crossing, I get it, but no, like that? Like right in there? No. Another thing about the air duct I'd like to call your attention to, and look at all that, okay, is it's not supposed to be restricted. See the way it's kinked right there? They made a well, maybe you don't see it. See how it's kinked right there? Okay, you think that's restricted? I do. See how it's kinked and turned through here? Is that going to blow like this nice straight one? Well, kind of nice. Those elbows are pretty radical. These stairs, these are the west stairs. They measure dimensionally uniform. They're pretty good. Pretty good. These stairs, not so much. And I've got a short video for that.